Hello guys! So let me welcome you to the second part of our lecture video on shareholders equity. So this time we will discuss accounting for original issuance of shares. Now, when it comes to issuance of shares, meron tayong marireceive na considerations dito. So, what are the two forms of considerations? Cash and non-cash. Now, ang main issue natin dito, how do we value the shares if we receive cash as the consideration? What if non-cash naman ang nare-receive nating consideration? Ano magiging valuation ng shares? Okay. Now, doon muna tayo sa cash since siya yung may pinakasimpleng concept. If we receive cash from the issuance of our shares, then we will value those shares at face amount. Kung magkano yung cash na natanggap natin, that is your face amount. Okay? Now, let's move on to the non-cash. If we receive non-cash consideration for the issuance of shares, how do we value these shares issued? Well, we have priority list. In that priority list, there will be 3 valuations. Ano yung tatlong valuations na yon? Tanda na, priority list. So kung ano man yung unang magpapakita rito, siya ang first priority. Then, second, and third. Okay. So, ano yung first valuation in our priority list? Number 1, fair value of the asset received. Pag available ang fair value ng asset na natanggap natin, yan agad ang magiging valuation ng shares natin. Okay? Next, in case na hindi na available ang fair value ng asset na na-receive natin, bababa tayo sa pangalawa, which is the fair value of the shares issued. Tatandaan nyo, the only time na bababa kayo sa baba kapag unavailable ang nasa taas. Okay? Pag available ang nasa taas, huwag na kayong bumaba sa pangalawa or sa pangatlo. Kasi yun na agad gagamitin nyo eh. Tama? Now, in case na unavailable pa rin ang fair value ng shares issued natin, well, bababa na tayo sa pinakababa, which is the par or the stated value of the shares issued. Summarize natin, pag cash ang na-receive natin sa pagka-issue ng shares, face amount ang valuation ng shares. Pero kapag non-cash, meron tayong tatlong valuation in the order of priority. First, fair value of the asset received. Pag unavailable siya, bababa tayo sa pangalawa, which is your fair value of the shares issued. Pero pag unavailable pa rin ang fair value ng shares issued natin, bababa na tayo sa huli, which is the par or stated value of the shares issued. Okay. Let's put that into application. For cash muna. ABC Corp issued 10,000 ordinary shares with par value of 100 pesos at 140 per share. Ano natanggap natin? Cash. Therefore, how do we value these shares? At face amount. So simply, debit, cash at 1.4 million. Credit, ordinary share capital valued at par value pa rin. Huwag nyo lang kalimutan yung basic concept natin. Ang share capital, binavalue palagi yan at par value. Then, the amount in excess of par or stated, sa share premium ang pasok. Okay? So, that's for your illustrative example number 1. Number 2. This time, non-cash consideration naman tayo. So, the XYZ Corporation issued 5,000 ordinary shares with 100 peso par value in exchange for land with a fair value of 600,000. On this date, the fair value of the shares were 125 per share. So, there will be 3 questions for this example. What would be the valuation of the land? Assuming the fair value of the land is not determinable, ano ang magiging valuation niya? Then, third one, paano kung parehong fair values hindi pala malaman or unavailable? Ano magiging valuation ng land? Number 1, since ang natanggap natin dito ay non-cash consideration, tandaan niyo yung priority list natin kanina. Ano nga ulit yung nasa first item? That is the fair value of the asset received. Available ba siya? Yes. Therefore, gamitin agad natin. Magkano fair value? 600,000. Therefore, answer for number 1, the 600,000. Journalize natin for your additional reference. That is, debit land, credit, ordinary share capital, still at par, credit, share premium, ordinary. Next, number 2. Paano daw kung unavailable naman ang fair value ng land? Ano na magiging valuation niya? Since unavailable ang nasa number 1 natin, bababa tayo sa number 2. Ano yung nasa number 2 natin? That is the fair value of the shares issued. Magkano ang fair value ng shares? 125 per share. Therefore, for number 2, our answer, 625,000. Computed as 5,000 shares times 125 per share. Journal entry. Similar fashion except that mag-iiba lang yung amounts, tama? Except for the share capital. Debit land, credit ordinary share capital, and credit share premium. Last one. Paano daw kung unavailable na yung dalawang fair value natin? Ano na magiging valuation ng land dito? That is, ano yung nasa third item ng priority list? Par or stated value. In this example, naka-par value naman si share. Therefore, i-value na natin siya at par, which is 500,000. Entry, debit, land, credit, share, capital. Obserbahan nyo. Numbers 1 and 2 may share premium. Pero pagdating sa number 3, wala nang share premium. That is because naka-value na kasi at par. Okay? Ayan. So, tapos natin ang example number 2. By the way, kung mapapansin nyo yung mga illustrations ko or yung requirements naka-focus kay land, tama? Kasi kapag tinatanong ko yung valuation ng asset, nasasama na yung valuation ng shares doon. Gets? Okay. This time, lump sum issuance. Pag sinabi nating lump sum issuance naman, that is, issuance of more than one class of shares at a single issuance price. Pag sinabi natin single issuance price, that is known as the basket price. Isang presyo para sa dalawang klase ng share capital. So how do we account for lump sum issuance? The basket price will be allocated by using the relative fair values at date of issuance. Anong tawag sa approach na to? That is market value approach. Now, in case one of the fair values will be unavailable on the date of issuance, hindi na natin pwedeng gamitin ang market value approach. Ano na gagamitin nating approach? That is your residual approach. Okay? Sige. Example, para mas maintindihan nyo ang lump sum issuance. So, in this example, the company issued 40,000 preference shares and 20,000 ordinary shares for a total price of 1.6 million. Okay? Now, ang una nating gagawin dito would be to allocate the transaction price or the basket price. Since the basket price is 1.6 million, i-allocate natin yan kay preference and ordinary shares. Paano natin i-allocate yan? By simply halving it? Hindi. Meron tayong tinatawag na market value approach or residual approach. Kailan ginagamit ulit ang market value approach? Kapag available ang dalawang fair values. Kailan naman ginagamit ang residual approach? Pag may isang hindi magiging available. Okay? Sige. In this example, available ba ang dalawang fair values ng preference and ordinary shares? Answer? Yes. Magkano si preference shares daw? 27 pesos. Si ordinary share, 36 pesos. Therefore, since available, both gagamitin na natin ang market value approach. How do we do that? Computin nyo muna yung total market values ng preference shares and ordinary shares. So magkano yan? Si preference share, 1.08 million. Si ordinary share, 720,000. Next one, we will develop a fraction based on that fair values. Paano natin i-develop yung fraction? I-add nyo lang yung dalawa para ma-develop or makuha na si denominator. Magkano ang total market value ng shares na to? 1.8 million. Tama? Therefore, anong gagawin natin sa fraction na na-develop natin? Ipang-multiply kay basket price na 1.6 million. So, magkano ang mapupunta kay preference share? Magkano mapupunta kay ordinary share? Allocated basket price? For preference, 960,000. For ordinary shares, 640,000. Pinang-multiply lang natin yan sa mga fractions na to. Gets? Okay. Next question. How do we journalize? We will journalize that. Dapat alam natin ang par value. Okay? Magkano par values ng preference and ordinary shares? That is, for preference shares, 40,000 times 20 pesos. Then for ordinary shares, that is 20,000 times 20 pesos. Okay? Then, the amount in excess of those par values will be called share premium. For preference shares, 160. For ordinary shares, that is, magkano yan? 240,000. Okay? Then, journal entries. Debit cash, credit, the share capitals, pero dapat nakaseparate ang preference sa ordinary. Then, you will recognize the share premiums. Gets? Madali lang, di ba? Matrabaho lang siya. Okay. What if? Same example, pero may iniba ko. Assume the same information except that the ordinary shares has no available market value. Nangyari na yung isa pang scenario. Paano kung unavailable ang isang market value? Paano gagawin natin? Kaya pa ba si market value approach? Hindi na. Kaya, gagamitin natin si residual approach. So, paano yung residual approach? You will first assign the allocated basket price to the shares na may available fair value. So, paano yun? Basket price of 1.6 million, since si preference share ang may available market value, kunin lang natin market value niya. Then, ibabawas lang natin yan sa 1.6 million basket price, then the residual amount will be assigned to the shares without the fair values. Okay? So, ganyan ang magiging scenario pag residual approach. Alright. Now, how do we journalize this approach? Dapat alam pa rin natin ang par value natin. So, paki-minus lang mga par value para malaman agad natin yung mga share premiums nila. So, for preference shares, that is 280,000. Then, for ordinary shares, 120,000. Journal entry, debit cash equal to the basket price, credit, preference share capital, ordinary share capital, and recognize the share premiums. Similar fashion lang, nagbago lang yung amounts. Alright? Next, organization cost. Anong ibig sabihin ng organization cost? These are costs incurred in forming a corporation. So ito yung mga costs na nagastos ng mga founding shareholders para lang ma-form ang isang korporasyon. Ano examples ng organization costs? Mga legal fees yan, no? Government fees, and others. Okay? Tandaan nyo, organization costs are also known as startup costs. How do we account for organization costs? Kinakapitalize ba natin sila or ine-expense? Answer? all organization costs will be expense as incurred. Walang kinakapitalize. Okay? Tandaan nyo, pag organization cost, walang kinakapitalize, lahat ay ini-expense. Next, share issuance cost. Madali naman siya maintindihan kasi sa pangalan pa lang, alam na natin kung saan related itong mga cost na to. These are the transaction costs that are attributable to the issuance of new shares. Okay? Now, ano mga examples ng share issuance costs? Professional fees, commissions, cost of printing certificates, documentary, stamps, SEC, filing fees. How do we account for these share issuance costs? Anong sabi? These are charged to the share premium arising from the related issuance. Therefore, pag sinabi nating charge, dinidebit lang natin siya sa share premium ng related issuance na yan. Okay? Now, paano kung insufficient yung balance ng share premium na nag-arise dyan sa issuance na yan? How do you account for the excess issuance cost? That will be charged to what we call share issuance cost account. Ano nature ng share issuance cost account? That would be a contra shareholders equity account that is to be deducted in the order of priority. Meron na naman priority list, pero dalawa lang to. Dalawa lang siya. Ano yung nandun sa priority list ng SIC account? First, share premium from previous issuance. Then, pag naubos pa din yan or walang available share premium from previous issuance, retained earnings na kaagad ang gagalawin niya. Okay, tandaan nyo, ang treatment ng share issuance cost, dinidebit lang natin yan sa share premium related issuance. In case na wala or naubos siya dahil sa laki ng share issuance cost, yung excess issuance cost will be recognized in what we call share issuance cost account. Nature, contra SHI account siya. To be deducted in the order of priority. First one, sino siya? Share premium from previous issuance. Pag naubos ang number 1 or pag wala siyang laman, number 2, retained earnings. Okay? Next, cost of public offering of shares. Ano itong mga ito? These are costs that relate to stock listing. Siyempre, kapag magpapalista ang isang corporation sa Philippine Stock Exchange, it will incur costs, of course. It will incur service costs or service fees. Okay? Ano treatment daw natin for this kind of cost? These are all expense. Ano ang logic? Bakit puro expense ang mga stock market listing fees? That is because wala pa tayo ini-issue na shares. Hindi kasi ibig sabihin na nilista mo yung pangalan ng corporation mo doon, may bibili agad, di ba? Hindi agad-agad nangyayari yon. Kaya, ini-expense na natin agad ang mga stock market listing fees. Alright? Next, joint cost. Ano itong joint cost na ito? Ito ba yung sa cost accounting? Answer, hindi. Iba ang joint cost na binabanggit ko dito. Ano ba itong joint cost na to? Transactions that relate to listing and issuance of new shares and listing of old and existing shares. Ibig sabihin, meron kang may incur na transaction cost related sa new issuance and listing of old fees. Yan ang tinatawag nating joint cost dito. Okay? How do we allocate the joint cost? That will be allocated pro rata between the newly issued and listed shares and the newly listed old existing shares on the basis of outstanding newly listed and newly listed old existing shares. Ano ibig niyang sabihin dito? Ano yung magiging fraction para mahati daw ang joint cost? For example, nag-issue tayo ng additional, let's say, 700,000 shares. Then, nag-issue rin tayo ng mga old shares natin, 300,000 shares. So, yung magiging fraction would be for the new issuance of shares, 700 over 1 million. Then, for the old existing shares, 300,000 over 1 million. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng fraction natin. Okay? So, ano ang examples ng joint cost? First example, audit and other professional advice relating to prospectus. What is a prospectus? Lagay natin yung definition ni Investopedia, ha? So, ito ang magiging definition niya. A prospectus is a formal document that is required by the SEC that provides details about an investment offering. So, ang isang prospectus, isang dokumento ito na naglalaman ng mga details about the investment offering. Siyempre, hindi naman kasi po pwede na maglalagay lang tayo ng mga offering ng investments na wala man lang details about that. Paano makakagawa ng informed decisions ang mga prospective investors kung wala yung prospectus? That's why nagiging transaction cost siya dito. Alright? Now, tatandaan nyo lang, ang prospectus ay ginagawa lang yan kapag nagkakaroon na ng offerings of investments. Next, opinion of counsel, tax opinion, fairness opinion and valuation report, and prospectus design and printing. Those are your joint costs. Hahatiin nyo yan sa newly issued shares at yung mga listing of old and existing shares. Next, let's move on to another subtopic, delinquent subscriptions. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng delinquent subscriptions? These are subscriptions declared in default. Pag sinabing delinquent, default. Ang ibig sabihin, hindi ka nakapagbayad in due date. So, delinquent shares, after sila i-declare as delinquent subscriptions, they will be offered for sale at a public auction. Diba? And these delinquent shares are offered to the highest bidder. Okay. Who is the highest bidder? Sino ba ang highest bidder? According to our definition, that is the person who is willing to pay the offer price of the delinquent shares for the smallest number of shares. Wait lang. Highest bidder, di ba? Bakit smallest number of shares? Explain natin. Ang tinitignan kasi ng corporation code when it comes to the highest bidder is the highest amount per share. Highest amount per share. Hindi niya tinitignan yung offer price. Why? Ang offer price kasi ay fix na yan. Naka-fix na yan. Hindi na pwede siyang pataasin, pababain. Naka-fix na kasi ang offer price. Kaya, tumitingin na siya sa amount per share. Kaya, smallest number of shares. You will just recall the basic rule in math. Pag bumababa ang denominator, ano nangyayari sa amount per share? Di ba tumataas? Pag tumataas naman ang denominator, bumababa ang amount per share. Di ba? Okay. Now, ano ba itong offer price na ito? Ano ba ang laman ng offer price? Meron tayong tatlong components of offer price. First component, balance due. Pag sinabing balance due, yan yung amount ng subscription na hindi pa bayad. Plus, accrued interest. Kung papatawan ng interest yan ng corporation. Then, auction-related expenses. So, yan ang laman ng offer price natin, guys. Okay? Problem on delinquent subscription. Para mas maintindihan nyo lang ang concept ng delinquent subscription. So, in this problem, a subscriber subscribed for 10,000 shares at 150 per share. Then, that subscriber paid 800,000 as initial payment and the balance to be paid 30 days after. Now, fast forward, after 30 days, hindi na daw nakapagbayad yung subscriber na to. Therefore, dahil hindi siya nakapagbayad on the due date, nadeklarang delinquent, therefore, na-i-offer siya sa public auction. Now, Corporation paid auction-related expenses amounting to 20,000. Pinatawan ng interest, 5,000. Now, there are 3 bidders who are willing to pay the offer price. Nandiyan sila bidder 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Dalawang question. How much is the offer price? Who is the highest bidder? First question. How much is the offer price? Ito sagot natin ha. Our answer, 725,000. Paano na-compute yan? First step, paki-compute lang muna yung total subscription price. That is, 10,000 shares times 150 per share. So magkano yon? 1.5 million. Then, since nagbayad siya ng 800,000 as initial payment, paki-deduct yung 800,000 sa total subscription price para malaman nyo kung magkano yung unpaid balance. O magkano yung unpaid balance? 700,000. Then, since na-declare ang delinquent, in-offer siya sa public auction. So magkano yung accrued interest? 5,000. Magkano auction-related expenses? 20,000. So that forms the 725,000. Okay? Now, last question. Who is the highest bidder? Focus tayo kay bidders 1, 2, and 3. Si bidder 1, nag-bid siya ng 4,500 shares. Bidder number 2, 5,000. Bidder number 3, 6,000. Who is the highest bidder in accordance with the definition of the Corporation Code? Pwede nyo nang i-eliminate yung nasa gitna, si bidder number 2. Sinong highest bidder kay bidder 1 and 3? Answer, it must be the bidder number 1. Why? Because siya yung may pinakamababang number of shares. Huwag kayong malilito kay highest bidder ha. Pag highest bidder, smallest number of shares. Magkalaban ang sinasabi ng term at ng definition niya. Okay? Ano ulit yung reason? Nasabi ko siya kanina. Ang tinitignan ng Corporation Code ay yung amount per share. Highest amount per share. Clear? Okay. Now, yung scenario natin kanina, may mga bidders. Pero paano kung walang nagbibid? Walang gustong bumili? Anong gagawin ng corporation pag walang gustong bumili sa in-offer nilang mga delinquent shares sa public auction? Answer? The corporation may purchase the delinquent shares. Pwede niyang bilhin ang mga shares. Okay? Anong gagawin niya sa mga shares na yun? Gagawin niyang treasury shares. Discussions on treasury shares in the later lecture videos, but not now. Kasi nasa original issuance pa lang tayo. Okay? Relax lang, chillax lang. Okay? Done? Sige. Now, question. Sir, di ba ang highest bidder kanina is 4,500 shares? Oo, tama. Now, ang naaalala namin, 10,000 ordinary shares ang ino-offer ng corporation sa public auction, right? Yes, 10,000 shares. Saan mapupunta yung difference or yung natirang shares na 5,500? Good question. Di ba si bidder number 1, nag-bid siya for 4,500 shares? E di yung 4,500 shares mapupunta sa kanya. Pero yung 5,500 shares mapupunta kanino? Doon sa delinquent subscriber. Sa delinquent subscriber siya mapupunta. Gets? Okay. That is in the scenario na kapag may bidders. Pero kapag walang bidders, sabi nga natin dito, si corporation ang bibili. E di, ilang shares makukuha ng delinquent subscriber? Answer, wala. Wala siyang makukuha doon. Kasi nga, binili lahat ng corporation. That is in accordance with your corporation code. Okay? Sige. This is the, I think, last subtopic for this lecture video. Legal capital. What is a legal capital? It is the portion of the paid-in capital which cannot be returned to the shareholders during the lifetime of the corporation. So, yung legal capital, ito yung mga hindi pwedeng ibalik sa mga shareholders habang nag-ooperate ang corporation. Why? Legal capital is in accordance with the trust fund doctrine. Ano sinasabi ng trust fund doctrine? Bakit bawal yan ibalik sa mga shareholders? The share capital is considered to be a trust fund for the protection of the creditors. So yung share capital or yung mga ini-invest ng mga shareholders, yan ay ginagawang fund for the creditors. Kaya hindi siya pwedeng ibalik sa mga shareholders kasi baka mamaya walang makuha ang mga creditors kung sakaling maniningil na sila sa corporation. Gets? Okay. Now, what would be the composition of the legal capital? Well, ang una muna natin titignan, anong klaseng shares ba itong pinag-uusapan natin? Is it par value shares or no par value shares? Okay, let's start. Focus on the par value shares. Under the par value shares, ang laman lang ng legal capital ay dalawa. That is, par value of shares issued plus par value of shares subscribed. Hindi kasali ang share premium. Hindi kasali ang share premium dito. Okay? Tandaan, pag par value, walang share premium. Pero pagdating sa no par value, tatlo ang laman ng legal capital. Ano yon? Stated value of shares issued plus stated value of shares subscribed and the share premium. O tandaan na, pag par value shares, dalawa ang laman. Pag no par value shares, tatlo ang laman. Kasali share premium kay no par shares. Okay? Sige. O, problems. Para mas maintindihan nyo si legal capital. Okay. In this case, what is the amount of legal capital? And number 2, another assumption. Okay. Based on our original information, both shares are par value shares. Okay. How do you compute for the legal capital for this original problem? Yan. So, nilatag na natin yung tatlong magiging components ng legal capital. Okay. Since this is par value shares, ano lang ang laman ng legal capital? Issued and subscribed. Puro par values lang. So, for preference and ordinary, latag lang natin yung par values nila. For issued, sa subscribe, walang subscribe preference share, kaya 0 kay preference. Pero pagdating kay ordinary, meron. Kaya nag-add tayo ng 100,000. What about share premium? Wala tayong lalagay. Dahil dalawa lang talaga ang laman ng legal capital for par value shares. So magkano yan kay preference? 4.6 million plus 10.6 million. So how much is your legal capital for number 1? That is 15.2 million. Number 2. For number 2, paano daw kung ang ordinary share capital ay no par na? Naging stated value siya. Tama? For the same amount, 10 pesos. So issued, walang problema. Subscribe, walang problema. Kinopya lang natin yan sa number 1. Pero, pagdating sa share premium, dito, si preference, wala pa ring laman. Pero si ordinary, since naging no par value share na siya, kasali na yung share premium niya. So ano lang ang tanging pinagkaiba ng number 1 and number 2? Yung share premium kay ordinary shares. Ngayon, sumama na siya. Kasi no par value shares na siya. Okay? Magkano totals? 4.6 million plus 16.1 million. Our answer will become 20.7 million. Okay? Tandaan, pag par value shares, ano lang ang laman? That is, number 1 is par value of shares issued plus par value of shares subscribed. Then, kapag no par value shares, tatlo. Ano yung tatlo? Number 1, stated value of shares issued, stated value of shares subscribed, and share premium. Are we clear? Are we clear? Clear? Yes. And that's it. That's the end of our discussion on the second part of shareholders equity. Refer to the next video for your next lesson, which is accounting for transactions subsequent to original issuance.